What's your life goal, and have you achieved it?
Yeah, I married you.
Aw, gross.
You really need to go out there and make sure the whole world hates you. Oh, perfect.
My butthole is all over the internet.
A fine wine. She keeps me in the basement and pulls me out when she needs me.
If I drink Sambuca, he's getting it.
I bought a case.
Can tell a lot about a person by the way their tits, pussy, or dick looks.
You come near my cheeks and it's not going to be a good day for you, homie. This is going to be special.
Welcome to the Two Onions podcast with Dani Daniels and Vic. What's up, guys? I'm Dani Daniels, and that's Vic. And this is Baby It's Dani, it's Baby It's Dani, it's Baby It's Dani, it's Baby It's Dani.
And the theme music has arrived.
I have theme song.
Welcome to the Three Onions podcast today,
onions.
because we have an extra onion.
Yes,
Today's
we have.
Cebollas.
Yep.
We are introducing my daughter,
Yes.
Dani.
I'm a child.
Yes. This is my
Well,
stepdaughter.
we're all child.
This is my stepdaughter, also Dani. Very ironic.
Shocking. It's in the theme song, too. Oh, my God, a concept.
Prepare yourself, because if you
Lock it
thought
down.
one Vic was entertaining, this is two Vics, but one has Bobs.
And has a game on. her screen.
Yes. Yeah, why do you have a game on?
Because it's the bottom of the ninth and there's only one run and there's...
Wrong answer. You should say, I have a podcast.
Oh, well, that too.
Okay, take two.
No, why?
No, go ahead, say it again.
No, I'm not starting over. We're
No,
invested.
we're not starting over.
We're
Just say it
invested.
again. Just
Oh,
say
I thought
it.
you wanted me to start
Say
the whole
it again.
Again.
There you go.
I has podcast.
So, Baby Dani has a podcast. What's your podcast called?
Danny's Dugout.
And what is it about?
Yankees baseball.
We are all wearing Yankee shit today. Do you see this? Support.
Go Yankees.
Go Yankees.
Trevin freaking strike the score.
And it's the bottom of the ninth, and we had to start recording, and so she is watching the game on her phone. So what made you want to do a Yankees podcast,
I have a psychotic love for the Yankees.
if you haven't noticed?
Just haven't. It's a little aggressive. It's been like that since the day I could remember. I blame this person to the left of me.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
And I blame the person who is a reason why he's alive today, too, my grandfather.
My dad.
And, yeah, they kind of got me obsessed. I used to actually pick on my grandfather for yelling at the TV screen, and then when I became obsessed, I was like, oh, I get it.
Yeah, Baby Dani's one of those screamers in bars.
I am.
She's that person.
I even scream when I'm behind the bar bartending.
Yep. Or like fancy restaurants or
Yeah.
airports or
Yeah.
pretty much anywhere.
Yeah, side of the street. I'll probably be that crazy person down the street.
She might scream in about 2 seconds if Chapman doesn't strike this guy out.
I swear to God, if he walks him, I'm going to...
Exactly.
What did you do before this podcast situation?
I was a model.
I'm interviewing her like I don't fucking know the answers. It's really weird.
Hey, exactly.
It's
How old are you right now?
Weird. So weird.
I was a fashion model, mostly commercial, so beauty, lingerie, and whatnot. And then I got told I need to be skinnier one too many times. And I was like, if I get any skinnier, you'll be able to see my rib cage without me sucking in. So that's disgusting.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that anymore.
Curvy girls are in.
And that's the other thing. Curvy girls are in. So I'm like, wait, I'm like perfect measurements. And then, wait, what? No, I'm done with this. And then I listen to Yankee podcasts all the time. And I was at a Yankee game. Actually, on your birthday, I was at a Yankee game. And
Where was I?
Probably
Not
in
at the Yankee game.
Jamaica or someplace. You're never in town for your birthday.
Oh, yeah, it's true. Okay. Go.
So my friend was just like, hey, I can get you on the field for batting practice. And I was like, what? I was having like, what? So I got to go on the field. I was in my like glory. And then more fast forward to watching the game. And in the first inning, who was on our team? McCutcheon hits a home run. And I stand up and I'm screaming and I'm yelling and I'm all excited. And he's just watching me like, what did I just bring to this game right now? Like, are you, what the? I'm like, I'm not, sorry, I'm not. And he's like, well, you kind of should be. The family of the pitcher is behind you.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And I was just like, well, they're in the wrong ballpark. I don't know what to tell them. Like, no. And the father of the pitcher was getting so mad. And he's like, you're in the wrong section, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like.
Mind you, this is Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
Yes, Yankee Stadium. So he's like, you're in the wrong section. This guy, like a Blue Jay got you your ticket. And I was like, yeah, so Okay. And I'm just sitting there. I'm trying to be nice because, like, I know, like, it's his son. It's the first time he's played professional ball at a stadium, at Yankee Stadium, all these things.
It was his first day?
Yeah, it was
and
his
you
first day.
fucked it up.
I didn't screw it up. He screwed it up by
His
giving
parents
him...
were there, like, probably with a camcorder, and, like, our son made it. And you're like, fuck that guy.
He should have pitched better.
That's exactly what I'm like. Yeah, it's not my fault.
Don't hang a Don't hang a
my
curveball.
God.
I don't know what to tell you, man. Don't hang a curveball. You hang a curveball, we're gonna cheer.
Exactly.
What's a hanging curveball?
That's one that just
As you can
dies.
see, baseball is nuts. They know it. I don't know what's going on.
And yet she
there.
played softball.
I did. Yeah, but I don't know what a hanging curveball is.
It just-
You were a pitcher.
I didn't do a hanging curveball.
Right. That's why people didn't hit your ball.
Oh, so that's a bad thing.
It's a bad thing.
Got it. Got it.
So he's like yelling at me and whatever, and I'm just I'm trying to be nice. And I've got my one friend and they're just like, oh shit, please, Danny, don't. And I didn't. And I was like, I'm really proud of myself. They're like, we're proud of you. And then something else happens and I go crazy. And the dad left because he couldn't take it anymore.
He left his son's game?
No, well, he left to go like
Oh
stand
my
up top
God.
because he was gonna keep yelling at me, and I was just like, "You're in the wrong fucking ballpark. Like, get away from
Welcome
me."
to New York.
So
Yeah,
no,
that's
we're
true.
not. I'm not dealing with your shit. No,
Yeah.
no. And I'm like, all right, I have to be nice. So let's go over to my Toyota bar and see all my peoples. And I was there.
Fun
and
fact, she always hangs out at the same bar in the same spot.
I do. I have
With the same bartender and the same drink.
Yeah.
Just a different Yankee
If you
shirt
ever
on.
want to meet Baby Danny, just go to a Yankee game and go to this spot, and she will be there.
I will
With
be
tequila.
there. With tequila.
And a Yankee shirt.
And most
and
likely
a baseball hat.
this babiest of backpacks, which is a Yankee backpack, and this hat on because it has my Danny's Dugout sticker on it. But so he's watching me watch this game, and he's just like, people need to watch you. People need to see you or listen to you. He's like, what can I do to make this happen? I'm like, I don't know. Then the next day I thought of it. I was like, I should start a podcast. And then we were all trying to come up with names, and I'm like, well, I like Dugout because I want my own dugout, and I want to be the manager in the dugout. And they're like, well, Danny's Dugout. And I was like, and it all came to life.
And that is how a podcast is born.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And that is
What is it like doing what you love for a living?
I don't ever want to do anything else.
It's a good.
It's a good answer.
I don't want to do anything else. I just want to sit and watch Yankee games for the rest of my life and shit on my team while also loving my team and interview.
That's a Yankee fan if ever there were one.
And
You suck. I'll love you tomorrow, but you suck
Yeah,
right
they
now.
go to games and they yell at their own players. Like, I'm very confused. I'm like, why are you yelling at him?
because he needs to do better.
he's a Yankee.
Exactly. So he needs to do better.
We
like,
yell at him when we're overseas. We were all at the game in London.
excuse me.
Yeah.
I told an umpire to go back to America. Okay. Like Angel Hernandez was one of the
So
umpires.
You have to
What?
tell this story. You can't just say that. So we were in London. There was like 8 of us,
Yeah.
Yeah.
all of our friends, and Danny's getting mad. Baby Danny is getting mad. I'm
Well,
gonna say
the
Baby Danny.
umpires
Otherwise,
suck.
I sound like George
Yeah,
Costanza,
the
like I'm talking about myself.
The umpire
Danny's
had
getting upset.
the umpire had a strike zone that looked like a Tetris game.
Yeah.
We couldn't figure it out for the life of us.
Danny literally Baby Danny stands up and she goes, "Go back to America."
Well,
Is that racist?
So, needless to say, we all laughed, and the Brits around us were in tears. Tears.
my God.
Tears. As a matter of fact, more people watched my daughter than actually watched
Yeah.
the baseball game at this point.
Do you remember that game that we went to? It was last year, and I'm just sitting there. We're in section like 111 or something, and I'm sitting there yelling at the guy. And it was Sonny Gray. I was yelling at Sonny Gray because
Yeah.
it's thank you for not being on my team. But like, I just remember yelling at Sonny Gray, being like, "You can get somebody out at first base, but you can't get him out at the freaking plate. What are you doing?" And the guy that was sitting next to us on the opposite aisle was just like, "I don't know what to watch. You or the game." I was like, "Well, you can watch me and figure out what's going on in the game. So
it's
whatever
pretty
you want to
easy.
do."
It's pretty easy.
It's very entertaining, for the record.
I like baseball.
I like turtles.
I like totals.
Baseball.
the most fun
be
job
very,
you've
very
ever
good
had?
to me.
Huh?
Is this the most fun job you ever had?
Hell yeah.
I don't,
Hell
better
yeah.
than going on the road with me? Excuse you. How dare you?
I mean, all right.
How
all right.
dare
That-
you.
I think
that
you need
was-
to. I
that
think you
was
need
like-
to elaborate on that.
For people
story
that
a
don't
little
know, when I would
Oh.
feature dance, I would take Baby Danny on the road with me as my roadie, and it was a blast.
Oh my God, it was awesome.
Because usually roadies are men. I wanted to bring a woman on because women are, I thought, less intimidating.
That was a mistake.
It was just a shit
People
show.
were more scared of me than the freaking security guards.
It was just like a disaster. Like I would have rules like, well, first she would never watch my shows, obviously.
No.
Too weird. Totally understand. But she would
down.
watch people to make sure they weren't taking photos because I would be like, no photos or video, blah, blah, blah. She would like ninja and I'd be doing the show and watching her and like I would have to like not focus because I would just stop and stare at it because she would ninja through the crowd and like snatch someone's phone like she was on the subway and fucking run away. And the guy would like lose his mind because she doesn't work there. And he's at a strip club and some bitch just snatched his phone. And she's like, you're not allowed to take pictures.
I would go through the phones and be like, all right, delete, go to recent, deleted, delete. You don't get to keep these. And he's like, I didn't take any pictures. Really? Because that's my stepmom's ass. So let me delete that right there. And I remember somebody saw me like, because there was an edge one time where I was like sitting up on it and I just jumped down and I grabbed a phone out of somebody's hand, started doing all the things, handed it back to him. And somebody's like, that was the greatest thing I've ever seen. Here's $20 and just tipped me $20. I was like,
she also would do my merch for me and she would just yell at dudes and be like, give her money. What are you doing? Give her like $20. How much is a photo? $20. That's a lot. It's $40 now.
well, don't like, excuse me. There's no like, well, what about $15? What about $35?
Yeah.
Like,
she
this
was like
is not
New York
how
the shit out of people. And it was like
They get very confused in Tupelo, Mississippi when you
like
New York the
selling
shit
an
out
umbrella
of
in the rain.
Exactly.
$70 now.
Yeah, it's like, oh, 3 drops hit the sidewalk. This $5 umbrella is $47.50.
The Yankees won!
All right.
Sorry. All right, we're good now.
All is right in the world.
So I have to tell this story because, and then we'll go back to your podcast and your win because it's one of my favorite stories of all time. So when I started bringing her on the road with me, I was a little bit nervous because it's kind of weird. I mean, you are my stepdaughter. Although you are one of my best friends, you're still my stepdaughter. And I was engaged to Vic. So I'm taking his daughter, the daughter of my fiance, to random ass states and random ass cities and like going to strip clubs until like late night.
Nothing bonds like a titty bar.
Hey, yeah. Except for she's like painfully straight and like no titty can convince her otherwise. That's another story. So like was it the first or second weekend we were in Mississippi?
First.
The first weekend.
Ever weekend
Oh
I
my
worked for you.
God.
Oh yeah, the second weekend was the fights.
Yeah.
So the first weekend. So I am so nervous. I'm like, okay, we're going to Mississippi. Great. Okay, we can't be going to like Seattle. We have to go to like Mississippi the first weekend.
Bumfuck Mississippi.
Yeah, I don't think
And
the
it was
town
the
has a
entire
name.
weekend of like I had to like explain to her like this is how you roadie, this is what you do, you know, these are the things. She's like, okay. She got it right away. She was awesome. And the manager I mean, look, strip clubs are strip clubs. Like titty bars are titty bars. Like, you know, there is a stereotype for a reason. So one of them, not every club is like this, but this one was. The manager, at the end of the night, he's getting fucking loaded in Mississippi.
Off chocolate vodka.
Vanilla.
I thought it was chocolate.
Vanilla.
Oh, God.
Even
Vanilla
better.
vodka. So
Mhm.
we're packing up to leave. It's like 3 or 4 in the morning. And, you know, bars or the strip clubs closed, the lights are on. You see a lot when the lights are on.
Mm.
And he comes into the dressing
Kind of makes its own gravy.
He comes into the dressing room with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth, a bottle of vanilla vodka in his hand, and a shotgun in the other. And he
AK.
cocks it with one hand and goes, y'all want to shoot some guns? And we looked at each other and looked at him and went, yes. So he went and got a fax machine and a mirror from I don't know where, put it in the
Obviously,
parking lot.
the Walmart down the block.
No.
Down the
No.
block.
Like he
There's
unplugged it,
nothing.
put it in the parking lot,
Unplugged it. Well, yeah.
and he handed us guns.
Who faxes a strip joint? What do you fax?
It's
These are my
Mississippi.
these
You
are my
don't under-
titties.
I don't know. You
This
don't
is-
understand,
I'm
though.
gonna fax you my resume.
Why are you shooting it? The fax
Emails
machines are
probably don't
expensive.
exist in that place because taxis didn't exist in that
Oh,
place.
yeah.
And there was
There were
nothing.
two restaurants.
Two restaurants.
There was a restaurant, and then there was the quote nice restaurant,
that was it.
and the other restaurant allowed smoking indoors.
Listen,
oh
there,
wait,
there are
wait,
some,
wait.
there's some
But there
good
was a
folk
third
down
one.
in Mississippi.
There was a third one, a Waffle House.
Oh,
yeah.
What, there's
We
always-
were
there's always a-
I
there's always a
love
Waffle House.
the Waffle
There's
House.
always a Waffle House.
And I also love looking at the floor of the Waffle
Oh,
House at
God.
the end of the
No,
night
you don't
because
look at
that
the
shit's
floor.
hilarious. But
No.
anyway, so we're like,
know
yes,
better.
let's go shoot some guns. And I remember my stepdaughter holding a gun at like 3 a.m. and shooting a fax machine. And I'm looking and I'm like, I am in so much trouble.
I was just getting really annoyed because he did kind of give us a nice little demonstration of how to shoot a gun. I recorded it. I also have that picture of him with the cigarette. I took a picture of that. It was
that
not
isn't burned in my head
in
for as long as I live.
100%. And I'm like, dude, I've shot a gun before. And he's just like, well, how do I know this? I was like, I grew up in upstate New York where we shoot things all the time. Like, just give me the gun. I want to shoot things.
Literally what she said.
He's like, okay. So I start shooting. I'm like, oh, this is fun. All right, your turn. But the best part was when the big black guy, what was his name?
Security guy?
Yeah, big
I don't
black
know.
security guy was just like, but I've got the fun one. And
Oh
I'm like,
God, I forgot about that.
the fun one? What's the fun one? And he comes out with a KSG shotgun. And I'm like, that's the fun one. And you actually
They
got
just
to
had
like,
these in a strip club. Why are you? Where are they during the day?
excuse me, do you not remember when they picked us up from the airport and there was a freaking AK-47, some
And
shit
I almost
on the
sat
gun?
on it.
Yes. He's like,
Oh, sorry about my gun. I'm like, oh my
goes-
God.
puts it in the trunk.
I almost got a fourth hole.
Jesus Christ.
So that was the first weekend.
That was the first.
And I was like, I swear to God, this never happens. I'm so sorry. She's like, that was fun. I was like, I'm so. And then I come home to
I
Vic
played
and he's
beer
like,
pong with strippers.
why were you shooting guns with my daughter? And I
So
was
just in
like,
case you were wondering,
oh yeah,
I'm home.
that's how she sold my first. Okay, so my first champagne room was sold while Danny was literally playing beer pong with strippers in the strip club and like
winning.
shooting and turns and like how much is da 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 and shoots.
And this is how I kept my job.
And in case you were wondering, I was at home with our lovely dogs getting
being
these videos at about 4 a.m. And I'm watching these videos. It was in the middle of October. I will never forget because my business partner wanted to bet me that Hillary Clinton was going to win the election. I wouldn't take the bet
God, I forgot
because
about
I didn't believe that it was going to happen. I really thought that Hillary was going to win. And then I saw these videos and I went and bet on Trump. Made some money off of that one.
Yeah, and when it happened, I was like, what about the police? Oh, no, it's fine. They know.
You know, the sheriff's department was on one side
Oh,
of the bar, and then the biker gang
Yeah.
was on the other side
This
of the bar.
is literally okay. So this is like I
There are
think
28
the
people
only
in this
strip
town.
club with
We're
like
100 miles in every
yeah.
direction.
Oh,
So
dear God.
one side was a bunch of biker gang dudes and like drug dealers and like just like scary people.
Sons of Anarchy.
And the other side were all cops, and they keep to their side.
Hey,
like-
we respect the club.
Literally, like
Yes.
they're like everyone gets along in here, and it's like, is this like the safe space?
It's the safe house. Yeah, right.
Like nothing brings people together like titties. I don't know.
Yeah, you've
It
heard of
was the
safe cities. This is a
weirdest-
safe titty bar.
It was the
way it
weirdest
works.
place.
That's why they got away with so much shit, like lighting up the bar,
Yep.
playing porn while I'm like, the what? Wait,
And I was
where
first.
am
I was like, I am so sorry.
It's like, well, this is interesting.
So yeah.
I
So
had
now you're in a much safer work environment.
Yes, yes.
Just a little bit.
I mean, you know, the comic strip on 81st, you know.
Hey.
Look at that shameless plug. We're getting good at this. Shameless.
I'm
Shameless. We are at the comic strip.
Hey, you can't see it. We'll have to do it maybe one of these episodes. You can actually see the comic strip above my wife's head at the moment, but it's kind of cool.
So
Oh, Anyways,
I have questions for you.
uh-oh.
Fan questions.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
actually, here's one. Do you miss being my roadie?
I do. Those were fun times.
She got mad at me when I stopped. I was like, I'm not going to feature dance anymore. She goes, why?
I was pissed.
I like traveling.
I loved the traveling. We got the bonding, and then I got to yell at people. It was great.
New York
Yeah,
101.
but you wouldn't be doing your podcast now.
Yeah, what I do my podcast on
All
Mondays.
right,
We
I
came
was
home
trying-
on Sunday.
I was trying to just finagle.
One
Didn't
more.
work out.
It was fun yelling at people. Come on. How about Memphis when I had to
Well, now you
run
just
and
yell
yell
at the Yankees. It's fine.
That's a good point. And Larry Rothschild.
Who's your least favorite person? Him? Like you always say
Yes.
that guy. I don't know who that is.
He's the pitching coach.
okay.
He needs to be
Is
fired.
that the old dude
Yes.
He
with the really tight
sucks.
shirts? He always wears
Yes.
really tight shirts.
And he needs to wear man's ear from
Aww.
Seinfeld.
It's a lot of Seinfeld references.
Yeah, there's a lot of sub-references.
Well, I saw.
Why do you hate him?
Because he's a terrible pitching coach.
I mean, he's old and senile.
That's just the guy you want to be your pitching coach,
That's
yeah.
just totally great. When we got Andy Pettitte, Mariano Rivera, and all these other great players who are like advisors to Cashman, who should be the pitching coaches.
Ron Guidry.
Ron Guidry was the pitching
Isn't
coach.
that
He's
your
too
favorite?
old now.
Isn't that
He's
your
not too old.
favorite?
That's my favorite.
That's
It was
your
my
favorite?
yeah.
He's like the pitching coach in spring training.
Yeah.
That's why everyone does so great in the beginning of the year.
Oh.
He should
Why
come
can't you
back.
just like vote someone off the Yankee Island?
Yeah,
How
I
does that
would. I
work?
think that works. I mean, I'm pretty sure that we can get the whole stadium to chant that sucker before it's over.
Oh yeah, 100%. Everyone hates him. No one can stand him anymore. He's just old. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Old doesn't
and-
necessarily mean not know what you're doing. I mean, we had
But he's also-
Stottlemyre. Stottlemyre was a great pitching coach, and he was old. This guy's just a bad pitching coach. Just a bad pitching
Was
coach.
he like good and then now he sucks, or was he always bad?
So basically, if you're gonna go from a sabermetrics point of view, which I freaking hate, which is also a reason why I love the Gio of Urshela's, because he defies all sabermetrics.
Not anymore. now he's on the top of the sabermetrics charts.
I know,
But
but
anyway, go
but
ahead.
he still defied. No one saw this coming.
No.
They're the same when they argue if they're the same person.
Take your stats and shove them up your ass. All right.
It's like fighting in a funhouse mirror.
Go ahead. You were
Just
saying.
just a tad bit. But either way, so in a sabermetric standpoint of view, he kind of did help our ERA or whatever went on and got it down to a 2. And
Yeah, but that's
I
a
don't
load
understand
of crap
anything
because
that you have said the last 30
All right.
seconds. I really hope you explain this on your podcast.
Yeah,
for
she
people
does,
like
but-
me.
okay,
well,
but-
I don't.
but let's-
I don't do sabermetrics on my podcast. So the people
No, but
like
like you
can.
explain on
break
your.
that out. No one wants to break it out. Take all of the people in the bullpen out of that list, and our ERA does not go down. It
No,
goes
not
up.
at all. Not at all.
It goes
And
up. Starting pitching
he-
sucks, and that's his job.
Yes, that is his main focus. But the problem is, like, when it comes to Holder, he was with Holder every single day, and Holder was trying to
Lack
get better.
of holding.
Yeah. And then Holder had to go down to AAA, just like Chad Green had to go down to AAA, to then become a better pitcher. Why don't
With
we
a
just,
different pitching coach.
Why don't we
Yeah,
just have
doesn't that
that
tell you
entire
something?
pitching coach
I feel like
staff?
that tells you something.
That tells a lot of things, but it also gives the pitcher time to actually work on something because
Look,
he's
the,
not in
the
majors.
fact that our team was basically the AAA ball club for the first, 4 months of the year,
Still
and they
kinda
got us
is.
to first place, maybe we should move the whole AAA staff
Yeah.
up. Bring 'em
the
all.
entire
Every single
Even
one
the
of 'em.
coaches, apparently.
Yeah, even
They-
the coaches except for Boone. Boone gets his credit, man.
I like that guy. Is that the guy that screamed?
Yeah,
Savages.
Savages guy?
Savages in the box,
I
baby.
love
Savages in the
him.
box. By the way, those of you who don't know, my daughter has a shirt that says Savages with all the names of the
Shameless
Yankees.
plug.
Shameless plug, but it's an awesome shirt.
Where can we
It
buy
is.
your merch?
At Etsy, at Danny's Dugout store on Etsy. Or you can go to my website and click the shop button.
What's your website?
Danny'sDugout.com. I was getting there. And just click the shop button and
It
I'll
is
take you
a
right to the
cool
store.
shirt. It is
I
a
made
really,
a
really
couple
cool
of different
shirt.
options.
I saw that.
Because people are getting
Yeah,
like,
you have one with. I was like, "Where's Gardner?" And then you made a Gardner shirt. So
Yeah.
I'm happy.
a lot of people are just like, well, where's this person and this person and this person? And I was like, well, first, because a couple people asked for pitching. And I was like, well, first off, it's Savages in the box, not Savages on
can't
the
have
mound.
pitchers.
Okay, so pitchers are not going on there. However,
Second of all, we don't have any Savage pitchers at the moment except the bullpen.
Except
We need
for
a whole
the- yeah.
bullpen, the Savage bullpen.
but that's not the rant. So I made a couple of different ones where Sanchez got included, and then Maben and all these other guys. Because
Maybe, yeah. Sanchez, I mean, he's been out a lot, so it's kind of hard to put him in there.
True, but you got the. I was like, you know what?
Everyone
Fine.
has
Fans
their
are fans.
favorites.
Here's
Fans are
here's your different shirts. But Urshela, Judge, and LeMahieu were on every single shirt.
Treebeard.
She has different nicknames for each player because she can't remember who's who.
That's how I remember who people are because I'm like, where?
So, Aaron Judge is Treebeard.
Judge is
Yes.
Treebeard.
Those of you who are Lord of the Rings fans will now laugh your asses
Yeah.
off.
Yes. He looks like Treebeard.
but
He kind of runs like Treebeard.
He does.
It was a little
Hey, he
slow.
made
he
it to
is
first base
so slow.
He booked it to first
Dude.
base today. He's 6'7".
That guy.
You figured he'd take longer shots.
He's got
like
long.
a gazelle.
He's got
He's also
long
280
ass
something
fucking-
pounds.
That's true.
Yeah, but go. You got long ass legs. You got stumps.
Need some J-Dub.
Move. But I forgot. But
All
I
different
added
shirts.
the three of them because DJ and Urshela have been like absolutely clutch every at bat with the RBIs, the small ball for the win. Judge got added on there because he's the fan favorite, and if I did not include Judge
He's
in
also
every
pretty awesome.
he's
also-
having a terrible year this year.
He's having a rough year, but he was good until he hurt himself. I honestly think he's still
same.
somewhat hurt.
No, 100%.
I think
That's-
he's just he's doing a Mickey Mantle, wrapping it up and hoping to God he can hit
I've
the ball.
never seen Judge hit a home run.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you
It was
did.
at London.
Where
In
was
London.
I?
London.
London.
Was I intoxicated?
Probably.
All right. Where's Gardner? That's all I care about.
In case you hadn't figured out who my wife's favorite
I love
Yankee is.
Gardner. Although I'm not wearing Gardner. I'm wearing Mattingly. But
Yeah.
really just because it's like my favorite number.
23.
Yes. Actually, she has Mattingly and Mantle,
And
technically, because
Look,
it
I'm
was
doing
the
stuff,
jersey when
guys.
Mantle had
Mantle. When passed away.
left us.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, back to the fan questions, because we do have to
We
move
haven't
this
even
along.
started the fan questions,
I know.
but hey, why don't we go with the fan questions?
Actually, you started with the first fan question.
I did?
Yeah.
No, that was my
I
question.
thought it was your question. Oh,
I have my own questions.
I love it when that happens.
So I have fan questions.
Hey,
So
just in case you were wondering, this segment's called
I like
Fan
like-
Questions. Yes.
Holy crap.
I like having a segment where my fans and our fans get to chime in.
Her
and
fans.
No, Baby Danny has fans.
I don't have fans. I'm just N.
You
Vic.
have fans, babe.
I'm N. Vic.
They're special.
It's kind of like Garth.
Okay, so I'm gonna go through some of
Rainsboro.
these, and some of these are awesome. Favorite Derek Jeter moment.
Oh,
when he dove into the stands.
knew that was
and-
going to be your answer. I told her, I said, I know the answer to all of these. This one I knew.
When he dove into the stands and made that catch.
Oh, it was such a great moment.
Oh.
Such a great moment.
My second
mean, it's
favorite is
sad-
probably the throw behind the back. That one when he was like,
that was pretty epic
crazy.
too. And I would say, and then top 3 would have to be when he hit his 3,000 hit at a home as a home run. I was actually in Mickey Mantle's restaurant
With my parents.
with my grandparents, and everybody there. We were all intensely watching it. And as soon as that pitch
yeah.
threw at ball gone,
I mean, that's,
everybody was standing.
that's a
up
way to
screaming.
get a 3,000 hit, not
Yeah.
just like a cheesy
Yeah.
half-assed
Is it
line,
hard
you
to
know.
get 3,000 hits?
Yeah,
Yeah.
not that many people have done it.
Hmm.
Not that many people.
The
He's
DJ
the
of
only-
LeMahieu's will.
He's the only Yankee to have done 3,000 hits.
DJ LeMahieu on the tens and twos.
By the way,
That's another
anybody who
nickname.
keeps saying ones and twos can go F
No,
yourself.
it's because of me.
And I'm going to add on to this. The tens and twos is like driving. And guess what? He drives and runs. Okay, go next.
Okay, next question. This is actually for Vic.
Vic. Okay.
Yeah. Did baby Danny cry as a baby? Someone
Only-
actually asked that question.
Only for about 5 or 6 hours a night.
I don't know why.
I
was
was, about
really
to say,
short.
that was like all of my childhood, wasn't it?
For the first few months of her childhood, she was like colicky, so she'd start crying at about 5 and stop crying at about 10.
So she was always loud, is what you're saying.
If you're wondering why, see, we had this question on the last podcast. Why don't I have any hair? There's your answer. I pulled it out in those few months.
All right, baby Danny.
They had to put me on the washer and dryer to put me to sleep. By the
Yeah,
way.
we put her. The only way that we could get her to go to sleep was to stick her in a car seat, put her on the washing machine during the spin cycle,
Oh.
and then she would fall asleep.
Don't make
There's-
any jokes
okay.
right there.
I was
Don't
gonna-
make any jokes because I know
just
exactly
go to
where
the
your
next
mouth
question.
is going.
Next question.
Picks for the World Series this year.
Dodgers,
Then-
Yankees.
Okay. Then who wins and how many games? I don't know what
Yankees
that means.
game 6.
I agree.
This was not a question for you,
I
sir.
just agree.
Sir. Okay, I don't even know what this fucking means, but I wrote it down. So this is a baseball thing. Over under DJ for AL MVP. What language is that?
It's bets.
That's betting whether or not LeMahieu will be voted the MVP of the league this year.
He's going to be the MVP of the league
He
this year.
should be the MVP.
If he's
of the league.
not, that is because the MLB is so rigged and disgusting, and they suck the dicks of like Otanis and shit like that. Don't yell.
What she said.
This is a question for me. I'm going to ask myself a question. Favorite part about being baby Danny's stepmom? She's one of my best friends. It's pretty cool, actually.
It is actually really cool.
I think
Yeah.
it's the theme song.
Baby is Danny is
I just
baby
wanted to see
is
that again.
Danny is. But it's true. It's cool. It's like I get a lot of questions like that. Like, what is it like? Because we are close in age, but it's awesome. I
Yes.
love it.
Very much so. I get a stepmom, and I get a best friend all at the same time. Kind of win-win
It's a
situation
win-win.
here.
It's a win-win. What is the name of your dad?
Yeah.
I have-
What is the name of your dad?
Do you
Dad.
have a name, Dad?
Yeah, it's dad.
I
I thought it's
Father.
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 Papa.
I also got a bunch of "Are you pregnant?" questions because I said, "Do you have questions for baby Danny?"
Oh my God.
And everyone thought I was pregnant.
You gave birth to a 25-year-old. That's awesome.
Holy.
Fully functioning and potty trained.
So some of my fans are very literal.
Yeah, very.
Special.
Do you have a gym routine?
No. I have a trainer who saves my life in every way, shape, and form, and whatever she tells me to do.
Oh, that's fair.
Otherwise, I walk around the city 24/7.
Yeah,
so.
she walks everywhere.
constantly, yeah.
Everywhere.
Except for here, because it was 100 blocks away. Not happening.
Okay, favorite Yankee, current and not. I feel like this is a round the table conversation.
Okay. So I get this question every single day of my life. And I'm like, all right, like playing or not playing? So obviously both. So not playing and also deceased, Mickey Mantle. And that is because of my grandfather. And yes, Mickey is the man. And he wins everything. When you go out there and you have a hole in your leg and you still hit home runs, you get my vote.
Badass.
It's pretty badass.
It's pretty badass.
Pretty bad. You just rubbed some dirt in it, got back on the field, and played. It didn't matter what injury he had. He just kept going. So he was my favorite because my grandfather and because I've learned the history of him, and I'm like, yo, that's awesome. But
What about current?
current Didi of the Gregoriuses. Gregorius.
Yeah, that is
I
definitely
fucked
her
that one up.
favorite.
Wait, Gregorius. Like, come on, he comes out to Notorious. And Didi plays shortstop, and I love shortstop. And that's my favorite position outside of pitching, of course. And then everyone always thinks it's Urshela because of the fact that he defies sabermetrics. And I'm like the Urshela hype woman.
I think you're saying Ursula wrong.
Urshela. He's Colombian, not Disney.
Well, I just wanted
Hey,
to come out one
Somebody
time.
had to be the Urshela in the next Little Mermaid.
Oh, God, that would have been so good. He was Ursula. Ursula.
He can't even speak English well enough to be like.
Bonus.
It's good television.
Who are your favorites, babe?
Oh, my favorite. Not playing. I was a Ron Guidry guy. That was my guy when I was a kid. I remember watching him strike people out. I watched that game. He struck 19, 18. Yeah, 18. Currently, I love Judge. I just love
Treebeard.
him. He's just great.
I like Gardner.
Yeah.
And current and not also Gardner because he keeps getting kicked out of things.
He got thrown out of the game for no reason.
I know.
No reason.
But the announcer goes, Gardy's got the bat. I love him because he just destroys shit and throws temper tantrums.
Yeah.
And I like bald guys, so.
Concepts.
Favorite color? I don't know. Fan question. Favorite color?
Purple.
Okay. It's not what I expected.
Everyone
Really?
always thinks it's Yankee blue. It's actually
No, it's
purple.
always been purple. Yeah.
How did you react when you first found out what I did for a living?
I knew who you were.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
this
boy.
is now where we enter the awkward stage of this relationship. So my dad was dating somebody else previously before my stepmother, and they were friends. And I'm like at the table with the two of them, and all of a sudden I hear her voice on the phone, and I'm like, "Is that Dani Daniels?" And she's just
This
like,
is a true story.
Very true.
how does she know? How do you know who that is? I was like, let's skip the bullshit right now. Like, is that Dani Daniels? And she's like, yes. I'm like, oh, I love her. Okay, that's all that. My dad's just like, can we not do this right now? And I'm like, you did this, not me. All right, and like whatever.
Yeah, I actually made her a video and I was like, hey, Danny, it's Danny. You have a cool name. Bye.
Literally, that was it. And I was like, oh my God. And then they wind up like dating. Like,
Well, before we started dating,
yeah, I finally
we were like friends and we were literally just friends. And then you had a bet going with your brother.
I
of
had multiple.
how
bets going
long
with
it
my
would be
brother.
before we started dating. And
I
she
won.
won. Yep.
Well, the funny part is my son didn't take that we weren't going to date. The bet was when we were going to
yeah.
date.
No, it was completely obvious, so obvious. And I was
To everybody but the two of us.
Yeah, my brother was just like, so when do you think it's gonna happen? He's like, I think it's gonna happen like around October-ish. I'm like, are you stupid? It's gonna happen at the end of this month. Like, what are you talking about? And then come the end of the month, they waited like a week to tell me, by the way. I was like, thank God you freaking told me, now I can win this bet. I was like, if you waited longer, I would have lost. But so that yeah. And then yeah.
Yeah. So I guess she's cool with it. I would
Yeah.
say
So,
you're
yeah.
cool with it.
I knew. I already knew.
Do you have a favorite hero or idol? I think I know what you're going to say.
I'm kind of interested.
My grandfather?
I knew that was going to be it.
I thought it was going to be Iron Man.
Oh,
No,
it's
I
not
knew it was gonna be my dad.
superhero. Like, if you're going to talk about a hero, I'm going to talk about my grandfather.
I figured it would
Yeah,
be my
that's
dad.
true. That's true.
He's the smartest man I've ever met in my entire life.
Yeah, he really is.
It's kind of scary.
Is baby Dani really your stepdaughter, or is she just a friend?
Oh, God almighty.
What are these questions?
Very
What-
literal fans.
What type of man does baby Dani like?
Not you. That ends that question. Whoever you are, it's not you. Not you.
My stepmom can answer that question literally.
I can't with Vic in the room
That would be a good idea.
because I know a lot more than he does.
I don't want to know.
I would say I'm not answering this question.
Pass. Zodiac sign.
Sagittarius?
I could just answer these for you. I don't even know why I'm asking you. What is I dead ass thought you meant your baby.
Is that a question?
What?
He dead ass thought she meant her baby. Because she's only been calling you baby as Danius for almost 3 years now.
Before you started
Here's
dating.
another good
Before
one.
we were dating.
I have only one quest. Cum taste?
Come taste.
Salty?
I really was hoping you.
Tacky? I don't know what that
You are very sexy and your eyes is boom boom.
Boom, boom.
These are real. You guys send me
The
these.
hell with savages in the box. It's going to be Isis Boom Boom. That's
Isis
the next
Boom
one.
Boom.
Boom Boom.
Do you using makeup?
No.
You're not wearing any makeup, right?
I'm wearing eyeliner and mascara, but that's the maximum amount of makeup I wear because I
Baby
don't
Dani
know.
with the good skin.
I
This
don't
is
know how to do
bullshit.
makeup.
It's okay, so neither do I. These are not real eyebrows. This is the best I got. Here's one. Magnet eyes.
What? They do change colors.
They do.
Yeah, they do. It's actually really cool. Would you like to try my big penis?
I would not.
No.
I highly doubt it's big. It's probably like, you speak.
One person's big is
real.
another
And
person's
then
peanut.
The lighter size?
The last one is bartending story.
Yeah, we need a good one.
Crazy
First of all,
lady
tell
actually
them
came
you got to
back
tell
last
them.
night.
Oh God.
I
God.
work at a dive bar in Times Square called Jimmy's Corner, and it is.
It
the
is a fucking dive bar.
It
It
is
is
a
the dive bar in
the
New York.
dive bar.
Absolutely.
If you guys like boxing, Jimmy Glenn, who is a Hall of Fame boxing trainer, owns it and has run it for the last 48 years.
He was Muhammad Ali's cut man.
Yes, and he trained Tyson, and he's trained everybody and their mother. So like he's very well known, and his 89th birthday is on Sunday.
Aw.
Happy birthday, Jim.
Yes, so crazy. There's so many of them. We get every crazy person because we're in Times
Oh
Square.
yeah. Like I'm afraid to go into her bar because like it is frightening.
Oh,
Like,
my God.
It
every
is so
crazy
like
person.
Lord of the
it's
Flies,
really
man.
really small. And the
Yes.
bathroom like makes a gas station look
does.
pleasant.
I wait until my breaks to go to the bathroom across the street at the Hunt and Fish Club.
Kind of
But
looks
it's
like
awesome. Like it looks like a movie set to
looks
me.
like the cantina scene from Star Wars.
Yeah, that is the perfect.
Like-
that is perfect. And I'm actually really really OCD, and all the fucking pictures are crooked,
Every
Yes.
single
and
one.
that's
Every
all
single
I
one.
can stare at.
They're all boxing photos too.
Every single
But
one.
McAllen there is like $7, so
Yes.
I love drinking there.
And that is the most expensive drink we have is a Macallan 12, and it's $7. But
Not your normal New
Yeah,
York
I
bar.
was like-
no.
$7 is like a club soda.
So like
everyplace
you
else.
can go there and get a really cheap drink, and you could probably buy drugs nearby.
Oh no, that's a guarantee. You definitely can because every drug dealer in the world comes into that bar at the end of the night after 2 a.m. I'm like,
my
can we
God.
close? Because I have to deal with one more freaking hooker and one more freaking.
What's wrong with hookers, man? Sex workers. I'm kidding.
And of course, if you want to rent the Millennium Falcon, there's a guy in the back, so you're all good.
I can't. All right, good bar stories. So Sunday nights is when we get the craziest of the craziest because pretty much every crazy story that has happened at the bar is on a Sunday. From the guy who smoked crack in the bathroom to the woman who misused the word supplication.
Oh god.
And we're going to go with the woman who misused supplication because there's really not much more to go on with the guy who smoked crack in the bathroom. That's just obvious.
Who knew it was crack?
So my friend,
How do you know what crack smells like unless you've done crack?
no, when you
Then-
see the crack pipe
Oh.
and him fucking smoking crack in the bathroom,
I
you
thought
kind
you
of
use like a spoon.
That's heroin.
that's heroin.
Okay.
And then you
In case you were wondering, we're back to my wife has never done drugs.
yes.
I don't know how drugs work.
round of applause for that, especially in your industry. Round of applause for that. So this woman comes in. She's definitely batshit crazy. She's definitely homeless. And yeah. So she walks in, and you guys know Jay well. He works at the Hunt and Fish Club.
Yeah.
He's there. I'm bullshitting with him, and she comes over, and she's just like, "How much your drinks here?" And I was like, "Everything's cheap." Because if somebody asks me one more time, having a drink, everything's cheap. Just order a damn drink. You didn't come to a bar to ask every question. So I'm like,
She fits in great at this bar, by the way.
oh, this is where I get my anger up. So I'm like, everything's cheap. Okay, can I have a well vodka and this? I'm like, yeah, sure. And she's like, by the way, I don't like supplication. I'm like, what the fuck is supplication? And she's just like, oh, you don't know what that means? She's like, that means I just don't like to be touched by others. I was like, well, neither do I. So good for you. Whatever. She's just like, well, I don't like to be touched because my daddy molested me when I was a kid and sold me into child like pornography and da 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 da. And I was like,
So you had 6 relatively good years. I'm going to get so much hate mail for that, but I couldn't resist.
My mother died when I was 6. My father raped me when I was 12. So yeah, I had 6 relatively good years. Okay,
it's one
a
of our
movie
favorite
reference.
movies.
Movie reference. Got it.
Arthur, the
Arthur's. We
original
watch it all the
Arthur.
time, so
Yeah.
sorry. Anyways.
would you like a fish? So I'm pouring the drink, and she says that. I'm like, what? And all of a sudden, she's like, well, yeah. So I was like, he just sold me out to people. I'm like, here's your drink, $3.50. Okay. And then she goes to the end of the bar, and then she's yelling, and she's talking, and she's just like, I don't like supplication. And we're like, okay, we heard you the first time, lady. Nobody is around you, so whatever. And she's just like, my daddy put me in child porn. We're like, we heard this already. And she's just like, I had to give a blowjob to a horse so he wouldn't let me fuck any more people. And I was just like, I just went, excuse me? And she's just like, well, yeah, otherwise I had to screw people. Well, what does giving a blowjob have to do with fucking people? But like, okay.
Horse?
Especially a horse.
A horse?
So then she's talking about
Is it
how...
rounding the corner at Saratoga? I mean,
I don't... Oh, yeah. Wait, it keeps going. So...
Oh.
Then she's just, and then I'm like, all right, I'm not serving this woman another drink. And she's sipping on it, and she's just like, I need to find my husband. He needs to put another baby in me. I'm like, are you going to birth a centaur? I just really wanted to know. She's
Good
like,
comeback.
Oh
Good
my
comeback.
God.
Good comeback. That's
And
it.
that's my favorite mythological animal.
Yes, we established this last podcast.
hey, that's my mythological animal as the Sagittarius, by the way. But I was just like, and Jay Will literally almost fell off his chair when I said that. He's just like, this is comedy gold. He's like, I'm
Oh
using this
my
in my
God.
next comedy sketch. And I was like, by all means. And we finally had to get her out of there because she started just yelling it and screaming. And then she
Holy
wound up sleeping right outside the door.
So sad.
Yeah, it
I was
is.
like, okay.
I just wish, I don't know, that stuff makes me sad. I wish there was somewhere they could go. Or I guess there is, but they don't want to.
No, yeah, there definitely
So,
is. But she
it's
came
just-
back last night, and I looked at her. I was like,
she came back.
oh, she came back last night. And I looked at Paige, and I was like, it's Supplication Girl.
She officially has a name.
Vacation girl.
And me and Paige just start laughing hysterically. And we're like, ma'am, you can't drink here. I've never been here before. I was like, well, I know that you fucked a horse, so you definitely have been here.
Well, yes, that's a fun fact that we all need to know.
And
Oh my
Junior just
God.
starts laughing, and he's like, ma'am, just leave. And it was...
Oh my God.
was aggressive.
Did somebody whinny as she walked out the door? Because that would be great.
I
Like
I
John
wish.
Belushi. Oh,
I wish.
Like John
Animal
Belushi in
House.
Animal House.
so many references. This
There were
episode.
blanks
I
in
love
the
it.
gun.
Oh my God. What? Holy shit. Because he doesn't say
There were
the T.
blanks in the gun.
Holy shit.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
On that note,
And on that note, we are moving
no,
too.
no,
we
you
are.
first.
We have to.
No, we have plenty of time.
We do not.
Yes. I have a game that I
Oh,
made
you have the game, yes.
for both of you.
Oh,
dear
God.
And it's going to be really funny because they are the same if you haven't figured this out yet. And they both know the Yankees and they are just, it's going to be aggressive. So I have here Yankee numbers
Oh, God.
and I want to know if you know them. And I'll
Okay.
start easy. All the retired numbers.
That's easier for him. What the fuck?
You want all of them? You want us to list them all?
No, I'm going to say the
Oh,
number and
okay.
you tell me if you think. So
This
everyone.
is a shitload of
So
them.
all of the people that are all the numbers are all the retired numbers at Yankee Stadium. Is that I don't know if this is a thing for every
yes, they
team.
get monuments and
Most teams have retired numbers. The Yankees have the most. The actually very first retired number in baseball was Lou Gehrig, number 4.
All right. Well, we'll just cross that one out.
In case you were wondering.
Okay. So number 1.
Billy Martin.
Yep.
And what position?
He was second base, but he was retired as a manager.
Good job, babe.
That's gonna be like I said. Old ones are gonna be him.
We'll just shout out whoever knows it first. Number 2.
Derek Jeter.
3.
Babe Ruth.
4.
Lou Gehrig.
5.
Joe DiMaggio.
Joe DiMaggio, yeah.
6.
Joe Torre.
7.
Mickey Mantle.
Mickey.
8.
2. Bill Dickey and Yogi Berra.
The Bears of the Yogas. He's got 10. He's got 10. Yeah, 10.
9. Sounds hard. I don't even know who this person
Roger Maris.
is. Who is that?
No.
He's-
Oh yeah, the Roger Maris. He was
61 home runs.
Yep.
He held the home run record
Holy shit.
until McGuire broke it on steroids.
Yes.
Number 10.
Thurman Munson.
Nope.
No, Munson's not 10. We just went to
Oh
Thurman
no,
Munson's
Munson's
thing.
15. 10.
You already said who I thought it was, so I can't.
There's
answer
than
that.
R's, the last name.
R's?
R.
R?
I don't know. Phil
Rizzuto.
Rizzuto.
I always
Rizzuto.
I always
Rizzuto.
forget about Rizzuto.
Shortstop.
Yeah.
16.
She skipped Thurman Munson.
You already said their
Yeah, 15. Thurman Munson. 16.
You know this one.
I know this one.
Yes. I've heard you guys argue about this person.
We argue about everybody.
everybody.
I was like,
The last name starts with an F. Whitey Ford.
Whitey Ford.
Rodney Ford was 16?
I guess so.
Oh, retired at 16.
He was
Yeah.
one of the best pitchers.
Yeah.
The best pitcher.
They've argued about 20.
Wow,
Posada?
am I drawing a blank? Huh?
Yep.
Posada's 20, yeah.
Posada. You're right. 23.
Mattingly.
32.
Casey Stengel?
Nope.
No. Pettit?
Nope.
No, Pettit's
That's-
Elston Howard.
Elston Howard. Great
Yeah,
catcher.
I was not
Catcher.
gonna
Who
happen
is
on my
that?
part.
Great catcher.
Never heard that name.
I was not picking
Yeah.
that one. Name.
First black man to play for the Yankees. Great catcher.
37.
Casey Stengel.
42.
Mariano. But it's also retired around the league as Jackie Robinson. too.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was the last person to wear 42.
Yep. 44.
Reggie
Reggie.
Jackson.
46.
Is that Pettit?
His name is
Pettit?
so funny. Petite Titty.
Andy Pettit.
49.
Ron Guidry.
Yeah. 51.
Bernie Williams.
Yep.
Now I have a lightning round, and this is only 3. And if you know this, I'm impressed. So all these 3 numbers have one person that have ever worn the jersey. Number 75.
Wow, I can't think of who that would be. 75. Only
Do you want a
one
hint?
person who wore the jersey. Sure.
This year.
75 this year?
Mm-hmm.
Beats me.
Tarpley?
David Hale.
Hell! I forgot he was 75. I thought he was 57.
Maybe I fucked that up. But
No,
Google
no,
says
no.
Google says.
David Hill's definitely.
number 91 from 2008 to 2014.
2008 to 2014.
14.
91.
2008 to 2014. That was also our winning team. It wasn't Hideki. It was
Dickens not
no.
Matsui.
It's not Matsui. I just said.
I'll
it
give you a
wasn't.
hint. It is a delicious Sicilian meal.
Piazza?
Alfredo Esquives.
Yeah, no one knows
Yeah,
who that
no,
is.
yeah.
Aceves.
No one cares about who that
He was a relief
He
pitcher.
was a really yeah.
And my favorite, number 69.
There was a 69 on the Yankees?
In 1990,
God only knows who that is.
I wasn't alive.
Yeah.
Alan Mills with the
Yeah.
good number.
Alan Mills.
That was good. You guys are good.
That wasn't that great.
Yeah, we could have done better.
I don't know any of these people, so
I can tell you everybody right now.
All right, so
probably-
now you get stuck with VIX 10.
Oh my God! No, there's more.
There's more questions.
There's a lot of questions.
You ready?
Oh God, I'm scared.
Yeah.
My dad's probably gonna screw me over.
Wait, what is
hard
your
body
segment
right
called?
VIX 10.
Inches.
Now.
You
Ew,
flatter me. Are you ready?
that's aggressive, man.
What's the most annoying question people ask you?
That depends. Is it baseball related
No,
or
just
is it
what's
bar?
the most annoying question people ask you?
How much are your drinks
I
here?
just knew you were going to say that.
I figured it was going to be, is Dani Daniels really your stepmom?
No, that is also an annoying question.
What is your favorite way to eat a potato?
As a fry?
What would the title of your auto...
This is his segment, okay?
Your favorite
Not
way
mine.
to eat a potato?
Yeah, you never know.
I'm just gonna bite
Look,
into it.
it only
raw.
goes downhill from here, so
What would the
strap
title
in.
of your autobiography be?
My dad's a fucking idiot.
That's
Wait, no. My stepmom, the porn star. Because that's what I wanted our TV show to be called.
What was the
you
biggest...
do not want cameras following you around. You
Yeah,
would hate
that's for sure.
yourself.
No, I just wanted to be on the road. On the road.
What was the biggest turning point in your life so far?
Podcast.
What are you most proud of?
Podcast.
What takes up too much of your time?
Bartending.
What is your favorite smell?
Rain.
What gets you fired up?
The 9th inning.
That's a good question. What do you wish you knew more about?
Baseball.
And what's the one question you would want everyone you meet to answer? Pregnant pause.
That's a good question.
That's a tough one.
That is a really tough one. I mean, everyone, like, I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, I just want to know why baseball players chose baseball as their career. Like, what made you do this? So that would be that. But, like, I guess, what's your favorite sport?
There you go.
Ooh.
Because
a
if
good
it's
one.
not baseball, I don't like you.
Oh.
Plot twist.
Oh, no.
We had a funny side note is everybody in our family roots for multiple teams from every different sport you can imagine. We're all different fans of everything. Except when it comes to baseball, you're either a Yankee fan or you're thrown off the island. It's
Yeah.
that
Literally, when
simple.
we got together, he was like, "Do you like sports?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's whatever." Like, he's like, "Do you have a favorite baseball team?" I'm like, I don't know." He's like, "You're a Yankee fan." I'm like, "All right. Well, I like the color blue, so this works out."
It's cool, though, because, like, baseball is a very generational sport. If you meet most fans, like, they're a fan of that team because it was instilled in them at birth. And, like, my dad was a fan. My mom was a fan. It's always generational when it comes to baseball. Whereas football is just like, well, I live there, or they're good. And it's just like, you
I feel like
suck.
football, they change a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, people just bounce around, but mostly
Yeah.
because of fantasy and stuff like that. But when it comes to baseball, you have your team.
Most I mean a lot of fans are fans of their town, or they became fans of, like, my middle brother was a Pittsburgh Steelers fan because at the time he started football, they were on a tear. My son's a Denver Bronco fan because at the time he started watching football, that's when they were big at it. So
Bandwagon assholes.
Yeah.
yeah. I'm a Cincinnati Bengals fan. We haven't won jack shit, so
The
I'm not. I
kitties.
got
You
no.
like the kitties.
I got no bandwagon. I don't even have a wagon. As a matter of fact, it's like a mule in a cart in Cuba.
The only
Square wheels.
The one type of bandwagon I hate, though, is that fucking fan in goddamn London who was giving me so much shit, and I had to be good about it.
God.
And I was just like, it's about to come a
So-
Spurs and Arsenal game in this bitch if this guy does not shut the fuck up right now.
There
Spurs,
was
Arsenal,
there
good
was
reference.
a
We're in London.
there
so.
was a Red Sox fan behind Dani that obviously thought she was very attractive and was trying to get her attention the entire game.
Just in case you were wondering, the Red Sox lost.
And
both
he
games.
disappeared.
The entire game. And like literally, like she got up at some point to go get food and I don't remember what they did. They scored or they did
Yeah.
something. And he was like, "Oh, where'd that girl go? Where'd that girl go?" He was trying so hard. And then finally, like I think halfway through, he turned around. I'm like, "Are you going to be obnoxious the entire game or just the first half? Because she's not interested."
That was the end of that.
And then
And
it's-
then the
and-
worm turned, and the Red Sox brought their relief pitchers in, and we went up 12-4, and that was the end of him.
And
That's a good
I turned
spanking.
around when we started winning, and he was gone.
Yeah, he
Ghosted.
was gone.
Ghost.
Gone.
I'm like,
It's like he
"You're
was
not
never
even
there."
going to stay the whole game? Like, what
No.
kind of fan are you?"
He knew that he needed to
was
leave
a Red
because
Sox
I
fan.
was going to rip him a new asshole.
You call a Red Sox fan?
And he was a bandwagon fan. I was like,
Oh
when
my
did you become a
God.
fan? 2004? Oh, yeah. After the 86 years of them not winning, you become a fan.
So you know the thing, right? They only do well the first 18 years of every century. So they're done. That's it. No more Red Sox. We don't have to worry about them again until 3000.
Oh,
I'll be
boy.
dead.
We're going to
Right.
get a lot of
Hate
Red
mail from the
Sox
Boston
hate
people?
mail. Yeah.
Well, they can go fuck themselves.
you know.
Oh, my God.
It sucks to be them,
Guys.
you know? Listen, when you're a
My
second-rate city, you're a
bride's
second-rate
fan
city.
is a Red Sox fan.
And he can go
He
fuck
was
himself,
at the
too.
game.
And his family was smart enough to move to Cleveland. That's how bad Boston is. They chose Cleveland.
Boston sucks.
Oh my
Anyway,
gosh.
back to the podcast and the final segment called Shameless Plugs.
Danny's Dugout! Go listen to it if you love baseball, if you love the Yankees. I don't just talk about the Yankees. I do talk about all of baseball at like minuscule parts of it. It's mostly Yankees. And it's on all of the places that you listen to podcasts. Rate and review it because I said so. And go buy your Danny's Dugout t-shirts. I got a Geo the Boss shirt and I've got a Savages shirt. And it's pretty dope. And it's on Etsy.
I like your shirts.
Yeah, they're really cool. I really like them.
Yeah.
And your Instagram?
Danny_Cipolla. And it's with a C, not an S.
Which means?
My last
Onion.
name. Yes.
So that's why this is 3 onions. Going back to the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Cipolla, yes.
There you go. Your turn.
What about where can they find you if you're at a game?
I am
Everywhere in Yankee Stadium because she
Pretty
doesn't
much.
stand still anymore.
I really don't stand still that often, especially if I'm like in a bleacher seat because I will.
Yeah,
just
aren't you
end-
like a bleacher creature?
Oh, well,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
there for like the first inning when it really, really matters, and you do the bleacher creature crawl. I am there for
You have
that.
to explain what the bleacher
Oh, yeah.
So if
creature
you
call is.
don't know Yankee history, the bleacher creatures are well known for their bleacher creature call, and what they do is they go from first base.
Wait, doesn't somebody have a cowbell?
yes.
Well, not anymore.
Or he doesn't have the
Aw.
Yeah,
cowbell.
I haven't seen the cowbell in like ages.
I hope he's
Oh.
okay.
But
Yeah, I like cowbell guy.
But yeah, they would usually start off with like the cowbell, and then they would be like, this guy would announce something, and then he would start the chant, and they go from like right field to left field to the first baseman to the third baseman, and they never call the pitcher or the catcher because it's just too distracting.
Unless
but-
it was David Wells. They would always call David
would
Wells
always
and
call-
he would acknowledge it.
Yes. So but they will keep calling their name until
And
the
it is
person turns
really
around
loud.
and like acknowledges it, and you can hear it on the television.
If you're
anytime.
sitting like behind home plate, you
Yeah.
can hear it from across.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like
And
it's
the
like nothing I've ever
the players
heard.
actually love it. They have said
They do.
over and over again their favorite fans are the bleacher creatures.
Yeah.
Everybody,
What is the
especially
other thing?
David Cohn.
They don't let you do the wave.
Don't
or
go- oh,
something?
yeah,
You
the
do
guy-
not participate in the wave in the bleacher creatures. Section 203, you do not do it. If you ever see the wave happen in Yankee Stadium, you will never see anybody stand up
No,
in that
yeah.
section.
No, the guy
And if
there's
they do,
literally
they get in trouble.
There's literally a guy out there and they all have like great nicknames. Like one guy's name is like Syphilis Sam. I'm not even joking.
Oh my god.
I'm not even joking. And the guy gets up and he looks around and he goes, "Okay, we don't do the fucking wave here. You got that? There's no fucking wave in this section." Everybody goes, "Okay." God forbid the opposing team hits a home run into the bleacher creature section and you do not throw the ball back.
You're going to be thrown.
You're going to get thrown back with the ball in your hand.
No, yeah, we're crazy.
They are fans.
If you're staring at like the
Right
outfield,
field.
if you're
Right
if you're
field, right behind Judge.
Okay.
Right field, right
Okay.
behind Judge. Yeah,
Okay.
right behind Judgy Boy. And they,
Beard.
yes.
Yes.
So I'm usually over there at around section 203, but
She's the
there's-
loud girl that's drinking tequila. If you can't
Yes.
find her, just
Yeah.
listen for
Just-
her.
pretty much. I'm usually at the Toyota bar because
Usually knowing more sports than most of the
Oh,
guys.
that's
who are
my favorite part.
there. Yeah.
that
Is
I
when
had-
you get called out by men.
And then you tear them
Not to be like
shreds.
gross, like girl power, like not like, but it's. I feel like you get a lot of judgment being
I
a
do.
woman and knowing as much as you know.
I do.
How do you deal?
I just tear them a new asshole with a smile on my face, and they're just
Not
like.
necessarily a smile.
No,
Oh,
she
no.
has a smile.
Oh, I have a
She has
smile.
a very happy face on when she
Because
does it.
I honestly, at this point, I've just embraced the fact that men are going, and it is mostly men. Men are going to just be like, you don't know anything about baseball.
Yeah.
You're just a girl. You're just a fangirl.
But there are a lot of women like I don't know anything about baseball.
No, they're 100%.
I understand that, but when
There's
you have
some men
somebody
in
out
There's
there
also men that
screaming
don't know jack shit.
Yeah, most.
So
There's a bunch of men who don't know anything. And most men, like, just say that they know it because they're supposed to. And I sit there, I'm like, that's the wrong year. That's the wrong this. That's I was like, would you like me to actually explain to you the question that you asked me because everything that you just stated was incorrect and these are the facts? And he's like, well, let me Google that. Well, then he Googles it and then he chugs his beer because he's just like, shit, I just got schooled by a girl. And I'm like, yes, you did. Now
It's
go
kinda
listen,
like-
to, the
listen to my
podcast.
podcast.
It's kind of like my cousin Vinny when she takes the stand and tells the guy about cars.
Cars, yeah.
That's what this
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
It's like
100%.
this is just like that.
I've never heard about Maddie tires.
They-
I love it. So
But-
go listen to her podcast.
If
Yes.
you like the
Danny's,
Danny's
Dugout.
Dugout.
If you just want to learn about baseball, like I like listening to it, like not only because you are family, but I don't know anything. So I actually learn a lot just from you ranting and screaming and teaching me things.
There is some
interesting.
teachable moments in between my rants. I don't like always go really into things when it comes to like what stats are or what like a play is or whatnot. But then there will be a moment where like I'm like, well, this double play happened. Da, 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 like he ran this to this and that. Like you'll get it within the rant.
Yeah, you can
because-
understand and follow along. Like at least I can just from what you're saying.
Right.
You
Right.
know, you don't have to. You break it down enough that I'm like, oh, okay, don't do that. You'll get. Don't do that.
Do that.
All right, folks. Thank you all for coming.
Wait, I want to do my shameless plugs.
I didn't even do
Follow
mine.
me on TikTok.
Oh, yes.
Dani Daniels TikTok.
I can't understand that.
I love TikTok.
I tried to make a video. I was like, I can't do this. This doesn't make
So
any sense
stupid.
for me.
I love it.
Plug the rest of your stuff.
Go watch my TV show, dinnerwithdani.com. Follow me on Instagram, aka Dani Daniels, and Snapchat, sucking all the D. I'll just do that for today.
okay.
Merch, shopddbox.com.
And if you didn't get enough of that, I am on Instagram as Evil Genius Vic. And go buy my book, Wait
Yes,
for
a
the
book.
Corn,
Yeah.
on Amazon.
That got #1 best new release.
Yeah, we did things.
You did it, babe.
You wrote a book.
I did.
I'm really confused.
And on that
that
note, thank you, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.